So tonight we are taking both the manifolds off of the cars and gonna try and make up a jig so we can weld the flanges onto the manifolds so they don't bend. So we'll start by pulling their manifolds off. They're pretty easy, they're only on by a couple of bolts at the moment because they've been on off trying to make them and sort of stuff out. So I've got to drill out holes on a piece of billet aluminium to use a heat sink for both the JZ manifold and the SI manifold.
So this S13 I've had for almost 10 years and I'm trying to get it back on the road now. It's been off for like the last 4 and it'll be really good to be able to get a warrant so I could drive it over summer again and enjoy it.
So we've got the SR20 manifold removed and same along with the manifold off the JZ, and got a bit of shit on the floor. So got a S366 with the JZ and a fucking Japanese turbo for the fucking SR, but we won't talk about that. I'll try and get a new one. But SR20 manifold that I've made, you can see that the runners are not welded on it yet to the flange, so that's why we're making up this bit of a heatsink, bit of a jig, so it doesn't warp that flange when we weld it. And I've got that JZ manifold that I also need to drill, the holes in for the heatsink as well, because I need to make a new manifold because that one sits turbo a bit too high, a bit too far forward, so it doesn't really fit in the engine bay properly. And we've got 2 pieces of billet. Basically, you've got this one here, which is going to be to bolt up the turbo flanges, and then the other big piece is just for like the turbo manifold. Basically, for example, this is going to bolt up like that and tighten it right down on this so that when we weld around it doesn't bend that flange. Definitely a little bit ahead of myself because I don't have my tap handle yet. I'm just using a bloody wrench, but it's doing the job. But I'm probably just going to do this one for now. Then I'll have to wait for my wrench to turn up
handle
for the tap itself to get the rest of them done.
So I've just basically done one hole and bolted the manifold down to the piece of aluminium, and I've just gone and punched out all the holes. The 2 back ones are pretty hard to get, so I just basically scored them in a circle and then punched them out.
So I've gone ahead and drilled out all of our holes so I can now tap them. I'm using a M10 by 1.5 millimeter tap so that I can use basically just some screws I got from a local hardware store to bolt down the manifold, and I'm gotten up to an 8.5 millimeter drill piece, and basically you just do that by looking straight over the drill bit and you can just see the edges of the tap. Make sure your drill bit's not too big, but your 8.5 looks good for this. Fuck, what a mission, but I've just got it done. So I've drilled out and tapped all the holes, and you can see I've got 4 bolts in there. The other holes are done. I just need to get some more washers, but the purpose of this is, you can see when I'm welding it, I don't want it to bend or anything with all the heat. And as you can see, this flange already has a slight, maybe 1.5 of a bit of a bend in already, but as you can see, like once I tighten it down on this, we should be able to close that gap up so that when we weld it, it should stay nice and flat, and we'll get it skimmed and then it'll be mint. We're back and it's a fucking freezing night, but I'm going to push forward and try and make a throttle cable kind of bracket out of some aluminium flat bar. Bit of a hard and fast tonight on this one, but as you can see, there's no throttle bracket, and we've just whipped up a throttle bracket. So it's just a piece of 3mm aluminium, drilled a couple holes in it, and just test fit it and then tidy it up. It works fine, but this angle here is just a little bit aggressive, so I think I might just bend the bracket there just a little bit more. So I've got it all done now. It's on a little bit of an angle, you can see when it pulls, but before it wasn't even really getting full throttle. I think the bracket was a little bit too long, pushing the cable a little bit too far forward, but I've trimmed it up, and as you can see, it's getting full throttle now, so I think I'll just leave it at that for the meantime. I might need to put a little bit more angle on it, but it's getting a bit late, so I think I'll go upstairs and have a shower and continue on another day.